Hey everyone, for those of us who've come away from the pagan holiday of Christmas, we wondered, what about celebrating Hanukkah? So let's look into that. Shalom everybody, and welcome to Beit Tefillah. Many of us have learned on our journey over time that Christmas is based on pagan sun god worship, so we had to leave that behind. We at one time, like most Christians, believed that Christmas was a good thing to keep as long as it was for the right reasons. But once we studied it out, we found out there is no right reason according to Elohim, and we had to get rid of it. Today, Google defines pagan as someone who doesn't go to synagogue, church, or mosque. Yet in the Tanakh, pagan was translated from the Hebrew word goy, which is Strong's H1471, described as a heathen, Gentile, people, or nation. Now interestingly, there are a lot of people in churchianity today who admit that Christmas is pagan, and yet they continue to celebrate it anyway.
So all this business about mistletoe, pagan. Christmas trees, pagan. Giving out gifts, pagan. Every bit of it is pagan. Every single bit of it is pagan. We've Christianized it all.
Isn't that something? Many of us are well aware that Christianity rejects Elohim by rejecting his commands. That's why most of us came out of Christianity, right? We knew that we couldn't please Elohim by being lawless. The ESV Bible has Jeremiah 10:1-5 interpreted as Elohim saying, "Learn not the way of the nations, nor be dismayed at the signs of the heavens, because the nations are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vanity. A tree from the forest is cut down and worked with an axe by the hands of a craftsman. They decorate it with silver and gold. They fasten it with a hammer and nails, so that it cannot move. Their idols are like scarecrows in a cucumber field, and they cannot speak. They have to be carried, for they cannot walk." There's a lot of good videos out there showing how Christmas was derived from pagan culture or belief, so I don't feel like I need to make another video on that topic. Yet many who come away from Christmas and who come out of Christianity and make their way into the Hebrew roots movement, they automatically start keeping the Jewish but non-scriptural celebration of Hanukkah. So I've heard some of these people say, "We keep Hanukkah now, not Christmas." Some people say that, yet they might have a Hanukkah tree, Hanukkah ornaments, Hanukkah stockings, and a Hanukkah wreath. Yeah, I see no resemblance to Christmas there. They simply retooled their Christian Christmas and put a Hebrew slant on it. But that's only done by a small percentage of those who celebrate Hanukkah. Most who keep it would probably tell you that they believe that Hanukkah centers around a miracle of a small amount of oil lasting for 8 days, which kept the menorah lit at the time that the temple was being rededicated after the Maccabees revolted against the Greeks and rebuilt it. That tradition involves the lighting of candles each night. But how much of that is truth? You can find the story of the Maccabean revolt in the book of Maccabees 1 and 2. The historical event, which is known today as Hanukkah, was recorded within 25 years or so of the actual events taking place and are believed to have been written by two different authors who describe very similar events, and this is how you get Maccabees 1 and 2. Yet one thing that becomes evident after reading both of these very similar accounts is the fact that there is no mention of any oil or any miracle. No miracle of it lasting 8 days. None at all. There is also no mention of making any type of 9-position candle holder called a HANUKKAH. Elohim clearly stated that in his temple, the menorah was supposed to have 7 candles on it, or 7 placeholders, or actually little bowls, I believe, that burned oil. Now the lampstand, or the menorah, was mentioned in the accounts of Maccabees, of course, as well as all the other temple accoutrements that were used in service of slaughtering or the temple services by the priesthood to Elohim. But what's obvious is there is no mention of any kind of magic oil. None in any of the accounts of Maccabees. HANUKKAH and miracle oil were simply Talmudic traditions that were added later. The celebration or dedication, known as Hanukkah, had nothing to do with that stuff. It was all about the temple that was defiled by the Greeks, the altar that had a pig sacrificed on it, that was like the highest form of blasphemy to Elohim because it made it completely unclean and defiled. All had to be ripped down and rebuilt. So Hanukkah is about the dedication or rededication of the slaughter place that Elohim specifically commanded to be set up in a particular way in order for sacrifices to be accepted. It had to be undefiled in service to him. And we get the word Hanukkah, which is Strong's H2598, from a Hebrew word found 8 times in the Tanakh, which simply means dedication. Hanukkah is not a feast commanded or created by Elohim. But I've never heard another Jew tell me it was either. They'll tell you, no, Elohim didn't command it. It's not one of the feast days set aside by Elohim. Hanukkah is simply a remembrance of the dedication of Elohim's temple, as recorded in the books of Maccabees 1 or 2, like I've already said. Traditions aren't a bad thing, unless they go against the word of Elohim or they originated in the worship of other gods, like Christmas. It would be a sin to tell someone that they must observe Hanukkah to be pleasing to Elohim, but if you're just keeping it in memory of Elohim's people restoring his temple, I'm not sure how that could be a bad thing. I personally don't keep Hanukkah. As not only wasn't it a feast declared by Elohim, but Elohim allowed his temple to be destroyed because we're in the dispersion now. And we can't show ourselves there 3 times per year as the Torah commanded. But that being said, I love the story of the Maccabean revolt and how they bravely fought the Greeks and won. How they took meticulous care and redesigned and rebuilt the altar and the accoutrements to please Elohim. I think it's a wonderful story, and I think that there's nothing wrong with celebrating that. Hanukkah is not based on pagan worship like Christmas is. So the choice is yours if you wish to keep it or not, and my advice would be to observe it for the right historical reasons. Don't simply make it into a Jewish Christmas. Well, that's all I have for today in this video. I hope it was helpful to those who are requesting it. This one's been in the work bin for a while on the computer. I've been trying to get it done for quite a while now, so I hope it answered the questions for people who were asking. But thanks for watching and being a part of Beit Tefillah. Please sub to our channel if you haven't done so. A shout out and a shalom to all who are Yisra'el and are scattered worldwide in the dispersion. Everybody be blessed and have a wonderful day.